So welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is your Cannabis Business Podcast. Today we're talking about automation and innovation in the hemp and cannabis industry. We are here live at the World Trade Center. I'm here with Arnar and Denny. They're with Greenvault Systems. I'm here with Jason of 420 Wholesale Pack, and then there's Andy of Poseidon Asset Management. You know, there's still some innovative obstacles, Jason. So the nascent cannabis industry is one of those things where there's constant change requiring a mastering of perpetual transformation. So why is automation so important?
We were just talking about with the next wave of scaling that's inevitably coming, a smaller operator making the right investment or two right now could very well position themselves to, show a larger investor down the road that, hey, maybe I didn't have the capital, but look at the efficiencies that I did squeeze out with the money I have. And if you can show a larger investor that, this is what I've done with what I have, and if you just pour some money on me, we can get bigger. That's what, like I said, that's what investors are looking for, is people that have already shown, they're not going to come in and save companies that are struggling, because you're struggling. You've got to at least show that you've got a good business model in place. And so, with some smaller scale automation solutions, that might be one way to, maybe you're that mid player and you're trying to get a little bit larger, make those smart investments now, so that when the investments start coming into our state, that maybe you're one of those lucky people that gets that windfall of investment capital to really take yourself to the next level.
And a follow-up, Arnar or Denny, there's most organizations are designed to execute and not innovate. So why is innovation so hard?
Well, first and foremost, again, a lot of these people coming into this space they're not product developers, right? Maybe they have some money, or maybe they've had a passion to get into the industry. But to be successful at product development, it takes a lot of expertise in that market to know what products are going to be good products and what products are going to be just ignored by the consumers. And we talked earlier about you go into these dispensaries and you've got 300 SKUs on the wall. How do people even make a decision?
Hedge said that there was only maybe 5% of retail shops in 2016 that had more than 1,000 SKUs. And now that's going the other way, where there's almost 20% of stores that have 2,000 SKUs. And I walk in, I'm just like, how do people make a decision? How do these bud tenders recommend or decide when there's so much involved in getting it there, and then you're drowned by it once you're there?
Right. And I think that's where your product quality really comes into play here, because that's really the only thing you have to stand against somebody else. You can have flashy packaging, you can have great marketing gimmicks, but at the end of the day, the person is going to pick the thing that looks the best to them. They don't get to smell it first. In a lot of markets where it has to be sealed, or sometimes you don't even get to see it. In these markets where you have to have opaque packaging, right. So you're buying on the reputation of the packer, the quality maybe that you got the last time. And so it's super important to hold that quality and to set yourself apart from the people that are just mass producing or just trying to get as much into a bag or a jar as they can at the lowest cost. Right. At the end of the day, that may come back to not be a good thing for you. Running your process that way. So, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of know-how that has to go into that. And I think a lot of these guys are just learning that now, right?
And to piggyback off that too, when it comes to your packaging itself, like he was saying, the packaging oftentimes can get you a sale, but it's ultimately going to be the quality that brings them back. And but that packaging is ultimately, especially in our state, it really is a huge factor because we can't really smell, and we kind of have a smell system that nobody really participates with. So we don't really have a robust ability to really smell or experience the product before you buy it. And so the packaging is really key at first. But if you put a really high-end package in with a really, maybe it doesn't even have to be a low-end product, but maybe it's like an affordable product, it confuses the customer, and I've seen a ton of that in this industry where, I'm going to do like my early days. I'm going to do this really nice bamboo lid jar. It cost me $1.50 a jar, and then you grade bud in there, and then you got $1.50 cost on your packaging, and your competitor's paying 30 cents. Yeah. You're not going to survive that.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. Either it's 4% humidity and it just crumbles, or there's powdery mildew, or there's issues. And so I've gone back to my trusted dealer in the black market. And so I'm going to echo what's happening in Canada. We can see from headset data, or maybe that's not headset, but there's some data out there in Canada where oil is not selling as much as flower. And I think every market would show you the opposite is happening. And so if it's not in Canada, I think that's a really good indication that quality is garbage. If you're selling black oil, people don't want to dab that. If you're selling powdery mildew or dried out flour that doesn't really have any terpenes or smell, or it doesn't have a real good value, people are going to find that elsewhere. And I think that's the black market.
Or radiated marijuana, right? That's not what they're doing over there.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, sterilize it or something. I don't know.
I think branding is just starting to come on the cusp, whereas no one cares about Snoop Dogg. You can see that in the numbers. But I think where it will lead to is where can I get that consistency? And Starbucks consistently makes terrible coffee, but people go there because they know what to expect. And if you can create something that is consistent, I think regardless of the quality, people will go to it. And we just don't even have that yet. If we can have quality and consistency, that's ideal.
Yeah, consistency is definitely a huge issue in our industry for sure. And I think that's also another reason why I don't tend to see a lot of brand loyalty when it comes to the consumer. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's that many, regular cannabis smokers that are like, I only smoke this brand.
No, I don't see that at all.
Because and I think one of the big reasons for that is even some of the quote unquote most successful processors and producers are still struggling with putting out the same consistent stuff. And so, and then we're reading about how, especially when extraction processes occur, it's branded as a, Granddaddy Purple, and then you test it and it's not even that anymore, because they actually took 4 or 5 strains and, extracted it all together. And so those kinds of things, I think, are also issues that guys like us can't really fix, as we're ancillary people, but those are quality issues that the producer processors really need to get their head around, I think, to kind of create that brand loyalty. I really don't think we have much of that yet in the state, and I think that's a really big step to get there, is to be able to consistently know as a consumer, right? If I buy this strain or this chemo bar from this company, it's going to be this experience every time.
Yeah.
And that's what all the corporate industry does. Coca-Cola, like it or not, it's consistent.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we need GMP practices. You can't have 10 out of 10 joints tested and come up 100% moldy. Rolled mold, you can go to Jim McRae's website right here, Power of Editing. And so he tested 5 infused, 5 non-infused joints, and they all came back moldy. And so whether it's oil that has Eagle 20 or mold, if it's not good and it's not trusted, then there's going to be alternatives and backlash. People will go into that black market, and you're going to lose capital. There's going to be some lawsuits for sure.
I heard a story about a processor in Southern California that was producing edibles, and they ran out of distillate, so they kept producing the edibles. Zero cannabinoids.
With that, I really appreciate you all being here with me today. So with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is your Cannabis Business Podcast, The Talking Hedge. Like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.